Hello golfers, this is Bob Laskin with 2minutegolf.com talking about golf course management and a golf course overview here, a tour of Augusta National. Here's the second hole, pink dogwood, par 5. The old tee's down here. Now the designer, Alistair McKenzie, Bobby Jones, Alistair McKenzie said that you should never build a tee box into the corner of your property in reference to golf course architecture and building courses. And he said this in his book, that you should always leave 50 to 100 yards behind every tee box to allow for technological advances in the game. So thanks to his foresight and genius, they were able to go back and make Augusta remain a relevant golf course, not like Marion or other great short courses that, you know, they just didn't have that foresight, and probably not the land. You know, Marion's more in the city. And so here's Augusta, second hole. Thank goodness for Alistair McKenzie. And so this hole, a little bit of a draw off of the tee. Got a funny story here. When I played here in the early 90s, just for fun, the gentleman I was with hooked it over here, and I gave him a mulligan, and it's kind of a dry creek bed, and so you could play out of it. And as I remember, there was staked by hazards, and I ran over to get his ball, and he says, no. I thought, gosh, there's got to be a snake or something. And I said, is there a snake or what's going on? He says, there's no running at Augusta National. So I learned that rule the hard way. And so if you don't hook it in there and you knock it down the fairway, the goal here is get it around the fairway enough to where, you know, you can get it up here in the slot. And so it is kind of a draw off of the tee, or Bubba for the lefties, a little bit of a fade and fill. And so you're trying to get it down here. Now the great thing is, as this hole's designed, this really slopes this way, which is tough, because this lie, ball below your feet, makes you fade the ball. And so it's a tough shot to make it draw back in from the ball below your feet. So it's not really bad to be up on top and then try to, you know, run it down in there. And so we're going to look at the pin placements here. And one of the great pins, and you see it, this is a new section back in here, and the green, as I remembered, was just more here when I played it, and they've added that section back, and that's an original McKenzie pin. This is number 7 over here, coming this way. But if this pin's back in here, all of this zone in here, pretty tough to get it up and down. You know, if you lay up, you want to lay up more left so you can fly it into here and then kind of use the slope. It's not a severe slope here. It's sloping this way. And so, you know, if you're long, it's kind of a tough chip down there. But anywhere in here is pretty easy. Anywhere deep up in this bunker, pretty easy up and down too. So if that pin's there, you just don't want to miss it in this zone. Pretty tough. Now again, if the pin's back left, this is the golden spot. So it just depends on where the pins are. And, you know, these players, they know exactly where these pins are, and they look at their pins on the pin sheets on the driving range before they play, and they're ready to go. So that's the second hole, pink dogwood.